right, you guys, happy Monday. Excited to be home. Just got back from Las Vegas. I'll tell you what, if you have the ability to look at the schedule of events in our industry, there's all kinds of events coming up. There's one big event that I'm going to highly recommend that you go to, and that's EXPCon. EXPCon is happening in October, so you may or may not have the budget to go to all of these events, but what I want to encourage you guys to do is go and get in these rooms. Now, some of the stuff is not going to be anything new. It's not going to be anything different. However, it's just going to be from a different vantage point. It's going to be different perspectives, and it's going to be people that I met that you can meet as well that are doing things just in a huge, huge way, and it's so important for us just to get in those rooms because it encourages us, it inspires us, and it shows us that, wait a minute, you're just like me. And how can you sell 305 homes in your market in Mississippi and make $2 million in 1 year? There's nothing separating you from me. And so you guys, it's important that you get to an event. Like, don't go crazy like me and Kenny. If you can, go to a handful of events this year, because I promise you, you're going to meet somebody that might now be a part of your referral network. You might want to interview somebody for your podcast, or you might hear that one nugget that gives you that encouragement and that inspiration to really push through to the second part of this year. So highly encourage you to get in the rooms, go to events, meet people, talk to people, and build your network. So before we get rolling, you guys, I'm going to always do this. We have some guests on the line. So first and foremost, if you're a guest on the line, welcome. My name is Elias. This is Keep It Moving Group Coaching, where we believe in the power of the collective wisdom and the collective energy. And so I'm going to have somebody bring us out on the field on this amazing Monday morning. And that person is going to be, all right, Jay. Jay, you are a veteran in this business. You've been here for a couple months now. You and your partner have just taken off. He is counting down gets here. But Jay, if you were to give yourself a little bit of advice, give the team a little bit of advice before we head out on the field and really go accomplish our week, what's the message that you want to send to everybody right now, Jay? Let's go.
If I had to give myself advice, I'd say just keep calling. And I know there's some new news about the rates dropping, so I would call everybody that you talk to. I don't know if on Follow Up Boss, if we're able to like search, like, you know how there's AI that can summarize your conversation. Maybe if you put interest rate, you can kind of filter down who you've been talking to about, and their objection was about the interest rate. That would be a nice conversation. And yeah, something I'd
Yeah, I absolutely love this. First and foremost, everyone should be making very, very accurate notes in Follow Up Boss. So times like this, you have an opportunity to call them, follow up with them, and share with them. We're going to talk about rates in a minute, you guys, but let's do this. I want to go around the room. I miss you guys. I only saw you one day last week, so I know a lot of things are going on in your business. We've had a lot of wins, appointments, listings in contract, new buyers into contracts. So I want to go around the room and give you guys an opportunity to talk about some wins. So who has some wins from this last week that they want to share? We can go business, we can go personal, we can do a combination of both. Who has some wins that they want to share from last week? Let's go. All right, cool. Let's get a few people in the queue. I got Patrick. Let me get 2 to 3 more in the queue because I know you guys have some wins that you want to share with the group. Unless Patrick's the only one with a win from the entire last week. All right, Blessing. All right, cool. Give me 2 more. 2 more. Don't be shy. I'll wait. There we go. All right, let's go, Patrick. Start us off. Blessing, you'll be on deck. Then Samani, then Darnell, and then Christina. Let's go, Patrick.
Cool. What's going on, guys? Good morning. Yeah, so wins last week. We started hitting the books heavy in the morning, 8:30 to 12 o'clock, non-negotiable. Started this new script that we did, a little bit more aggressive, more assertive. Long story short, ended up booking 3 listing appointments in 1 day. We got 2 verbals, 1 wetty, right? So it's a good win last week. And we're trying to do that every single day. It works.
Okay, I love it. So first and foremost, what list are you calling off of? Who are you calling? Let's go there first.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I'm literally at the MLS. I'm using S4. I'm just an expired listings. That's it. The last 2 or 3 days, and I just go ahead and look into the addresses, look into the property, and see what's the information. Get the data, get the number. However you want. However what your process is in getting that data, and you just put that in Excel and just start busting out the calls. That's
All right. So you said you have a script that's working. It's a new script. It's probably something that we've heard an iteration of. Let's hear it, Big Dog. If you can share with us, and then if you can, please drop the script in the chat down below. But let's hear it, my man. How many people want to hear this? What's working for them? 3 listing appointments in one day. All right, cool. Patrick, let's continue on, bro. Let's hear it.
Sure, yeah. I got you. 1 second.
And even if you want to share your screen so people can see this, I'll give you share screen rights in a second. If not, just go ahead and share with us.
All right.
Boom. All right, cool. Let's roll.
Cool. Yeah. All right, ready. So ring. I'm calling you.
All right, let's have Darnell. Darnell, you be the agent. I mean, you be the client.
All right.
Cool.
Hello.
Hey, is this Darnell?
Speaking.
Hey, good morning, sir. This is Pat with eXp Realty. I just have, I'm sure you're getting a ton of calls on your property at 321 Main Street. I just have 2 quick questions. If you have 30 seconds for me.
All right, shoot.
Great. That was my first question. Second question is, did that property end up selling or is it still available?
Still available.
Okay, great. I mean, did you relist that with another broker or are you selling it by yourself?
No, I was actually just thinking about letting it go by myself. The last brokerage didn't really work out.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's very unfortunate. And that's understandable, Darnell. And that's why I'm calling you, because I'd like to apply for the job to help sell your home on behalf of the #1 performing brokerage in the country, eXp Realty. Because I'm 100% confident that that property should have been sold already. And I'm actually doing showings in your neighborhood tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. Does 5:30 p.m. work for you for a quick introduction, just so I can put a face to the voice?
Let's shoot for another day. How about the day after?
Day after? Sure. Sounds good. Evenings or afternoons, brother?
Evening.
Evenings, 5:30 good for you?
That'll work.
All right, Darnell. I had pleasure connecting with you today, and I'm excited to see you, okay?
Sounds good, man. Thanks for your call.
All right.
All right, let's give him a round of applause. Sounded really, really good. There's a couple things that I heard that stood out. This was really, really powerful. But Darnell, what was something that you heard from that script that really stood out to you?
All right, that was my first question. I like that a lot because that already makes me feel like, all right, I'm not waiting on 2 questions. I'm just waiting on the one, and you left me with a little laugh. So I tuned into the conversation right there for sure. Like it clicked.
Yeah, it gave some levity to the situation, right? It's like, oh, that was only one. All right, cool, we're almost done, right?
Yeah,
I love that.
I feel like it made him human.
That's right. Let's go. Mel, what was some thoughts and takeaways from what Patrick said, that script that they're using right now?
I really like how confident he sounded, and how fast the call went. It's definitely a script that I've heard before. I think that you said in the beginning that you kind of changed some things up to be a little bit more assertive and to be a little bit more direct. But I've heard this script before. So exactly what did you change? Can you kind of point those things out?
Actually, this is a script that Mark and I and David kind of collaborated on. And I'm sure they've been in sales for years, so I'm sure they took a couple of ideas from that script that you're probably talking about.
Cool.
Yeah, here's what I noticed. Sorry, Mel. Here's what I noticed is that you just said, I'm calling because I want to interview for the job. There was no smoke and mirrors. Listen, it's not like, I have a buyer. I really do not like the conversation of, oh, I like a buyer, but I want to come out and see the house first. No, I want to interview for the job. We're the #1 team in the country. And I think we have an opportunity to really, get the job done. I think that it was very, very clear and it was very confident, my man. So I loved it. So really good stuff. Absolutely love it. So his win for the week, you guys weren't going to go too far in script role play. We'll say that for another day, but 3 listing appointments in one day. Now, Patrick, walk us through the numbers. How many days a week are you calling? And what does that look like? What is your time frame?
Yeah, for sure. Yesterday was kind of a bit off. I had a fever for about 2 or 3 days, so it was kind of whack. But your regular hours, regular week, 8:30 in the office, right? By 9 o'clock, start looking at expired listings, start looking at data, start building up that numbers. 9:30 to 12 o'clock, start hitting phone books. If you run out of expired listings, go call FUV, go start following up, set up appointments. But the goal really is to set up at least 1 or 2 appointments every day. That's really it.
Yeah. And I love this because so many people get wrapped up in just being busy or having an illusion of being busy. If you're not in contract right now, if you're not putting out fires, that's what we should be doing. We should be searching for our very next appointment. So really good stuff, Patrick. Let's go to Blessing. You'll be on deck, and then we'll go Samandy, and we'll go Christina. Let's go, Blessing. Wins from last week.
Yeah, so huge win is just being able to successfully close out our listing. Jessica and I, we got that on record on Thursday, everything dispersed. So just being able to manage a difficult transaction as far as seller expectations. And then we both committed to just like hunting for our next deal. So Jessica has been nurturing her sphere of influence, and we have a listing lead in her sphere that they decided they wanted to buy land. So we were able to actually starting from the picnic, went to go and show them a few lots, negotiated that and got in contract on Saturday night or Saturday afternoon. So new purchase agreement signed and ratified, and we'll actually be closing this Friday. So something just super quick and straightforward, but because we were able to get this locked in, we're that much closer to getting the listing out here in Antioch and a couple other referrals from her family member. So that's just one as far as being able to nurture our pipeline. The other win came from, again, nurturing the pipeline and paying attention to Follow-Up Boss can put on automatic action plans if you tag them correctly. So I had someone that I imported it's someone I met 2 years ago that when I updated my Follow-Up Boss, tagged them as a buyer. So Follow-Up Boss has been sending them, just drip campaigns, and one of them hit, and I responded to his email maybe within like 15 minutes of him replying, and was able to get on the phone with him, got on the phone with his mom. The listing agreement's still out there. I'm not close to getting it signed, but just being able to be top of mind and take action on the notifications that are coming is right in line with still checking Real Scout and my Zillow buyer activity first thing in the morning, so I know who I need to hit. So just wins as far as staying on the pipeline.
Beautiful. And if you look at the momentum that you and Jessica both have right now, if you can bottle it up and say, this is what we know is truly, truly working for us right now, what is that?
Divide and conquer. She is an excellent person if you want to talk about follow-up and just the vision. She has a very high standard of what she wants her business to be that is in line with the knowledge that I have. So dividing and figuring out where are you the strongest at and where can I learn, and then where is she the strongest at, or where am I the strongest at and where can she learn, and basically just allowing each other to take leads in our zones of excellence.
God, I love this. I love this. Great job. And shout out to Jessica as well. Let's go to Samandy. Samandy, let's hear from you. Wins from last week, and congratulations, Leslie.
So I got into contract, and having my coming soon sign in front of the mobile home I have coming soon. I've been having that there for like a month, and I understand my seller, he just doesn't have a lot of time to fix his mobile home, and we knew it was going to take this long. So I ended up getting 2 potential coming soons. So I say potential because I don't have a listing agreement yet, but it's obviously people that are like, yeah, we want to sell with you. I have appointments with them during the week. And what I manifested was having business partners this year, because as you guys know, I run 2 businesses and it gets tough. So I agreed like, hey, I'm going to be a partnering agent, because I also don't want to lose my clients, the people who come to me to get, to want to buy or sell. So I have 2 good business partners, and they've been helping me out. And out of that, I have another coming soon in Brentwood. So, and it's all within like a week to 2 weeks of spam. So yeah, other than that, I mean, everything else is just like potential buyers that I got through social media and through my other business that we finished some processes in credit, and now they're ready to buy.
Beautiful. I love this. And in the chat, somebody asked, which area is the mobile home?
It's going to be in Stockton, all 3.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Samandy, I love it. I love that you're not afraid of the phones. I love that you're in the office almost every single day, still working out every single day, or whatever that cadence looks like for you. But all of these things are obviously, speaking to each other. So really, really good stuff. I'm going to go Dee Bledsoe, and then I'll come back to Christina. So Christina, don't go too far. Dee Bledsoe, wins from last week. And congrats, Samandy.
Good morning. Good morning. A win from last week, which actually transcends into today, is I'm finally getting pictures done of my listing in Vacaville. Has been a delicate process because the seller inherited the home from her grandparents, and she basically grew up there on the weekends visiting. So it's been really sentimental. So I haven't been wanting to push as much, but we're finally getting photos done today. Getting ready to put it on the market in the next couple of weeks, and so that's a huge win because I've been having challenges with my buyer clients within the last 2 months. It's been rough. They either haven't gotten offers accepted or just don't want to meet terms that sellers are looking for, and yeah, it's been a rough one on the buyer side. So it's definitely a win listing going.
Yes, I love it. So if you can, drop the information down below. I know there's tons of people on the call that are working with people out in the Vacaville area, Solano County. So great stuff, D. Bledsoe. Let's go to Christina and, Christina Nunes. So Christina, let's hear from you, wins from last week. And then obviously our industry had a major win last week. And I know that this is impacting our buyers in a positive way, but obviously we're going to see a huge influx of buyers right now in the market. So talk to us a little bit about your wins and then talk us through where interest rates are at today, because it's some good news for our industry. So let's go, Christina.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, guys. Personal win would be mine is just staying on my exercise routine, making sure I start my morning like that. It's just a non-negotiable because I feel like I've just been doing that, and it really just helps keep my mindset to know that, all right, I tackled the morning with a kick-ass run. So now I can go tackle my business. So that's personally for me. Other thing, rates. Rates are good, guys. Friday, we got a dip last week, and then Friday they went down again. So we're looking at, where I actually was talking to a client this morning. She's buying new construction, and I locked her about a week and a half ago. And we did a float down, which now her rate was at 6.875%. I was able to float her down for $500 to 6.25. That's huge. Like, you guys, I really want you to understand the difference in what these rates are doing, that we're bringing down monthly payments from where they were maybe 2 weeks ago, a good $200 to $300 a month. So I would definitely say another thing I'm doing is I'm reaching out to all my pre-approved buyers, even buyers that like earlier this year that just got pre-approved, didn't buy. I'm telling them, hey, let's take a look at the numbers. Your monthly payment from whatever I quoted you is probably going to be about $200 to $300 less a month, depending where your current credit score is. And it's enough to give them some information where they're going to be intrigued and be like, oh, okay, let's just know what these numbers are. So definitely rates are amazing. We're looking at FHA rates sometimes below right now in 5.875. We're in the fives on FHA. And if you get a seller credit, I quoted someone 5% interest rate with a $10,000 seller credit. 5%. Like, I don't even know if I would have been able to say this over a week ago. So definitely touch base with those buyers. Even if they ignore you, who cares? Keep bugging them. I always say I'm going to keep bugging them until they tell me to stop. And no one ever tells you to stop. They'll just ghost you, but that's okay because there's a lot of opportunity out there.
Yeah, and I love this, Christina. And look at what Jay just put in the chat. You guys, this is just an opportunity to shake the tree, to make some calls and say, hey, you guys, have you heard the good news? No, what's the good news? And you share with them that $200, $300, that might be the tipping point for them. You never know, you guys. So you obviously have the lead pond. There's over 5,000 leads in the lead pond. Now, a lot of those lead pond leads are in there at different stages. They didn't want to buy. They had no interest, but something changed just now. And it just gives you an opportunity to call them. Go in your own database. See who are the people that have actively been looking at homes over the last 6 months and have never decided to pull the trigger for whatever reason. Maybe this is the call. But even if they say, no, it's still not the good time, wonderful. I just wanted to touch base with you. I want to share the good news with you. I'll constantly be updating you on the impact of what's happening in the market. Those are really good conversations to have, you guys. And I would highly encourage you guys to just burn the phones today and just get on the phones and make these calls. So good stuff, Christina. Let's go to Christina Montiel. Wins from last week. Let's hear from you.
Good morning, everyone. Last week we had my first closing. It was a very challenging one. The lender decided to have the buyer sign, all good to go. And then at the 11th hour, we were supposed to close. There was more conditions. It was a nightmare. So we had to close on the next day, but we closed, and the poor buyer, when moved in, there was the toilet was overflowing and we're still dealing with this, a lot of craziness. But today I have another win. It's my second closing and I'm so excited. I have all my goodies for my client. I'm really, really, really excited that this is happening back to back. I'm so happy that I have Kelly in my life as well. And I'm the bad cop, she's the good cop, so it works well. So
Wait, Kelly's
today
the bad cop?
I'm the bad cop. I'm always the bad cop.
Okay, all right, all right. Well, congratulations to you and to Kelly. I love this. All right, so good stuff, you guys. Anybody else have a win that they want to share before we shift gears? All right, so let's do this. Obviously, we know what's going on in the market. We know what's going on, with interest rates. We can obviously clearly articulate the wins that we've had. But when I asked for wins, I didn't see too many hands go up. So I want to ask you guys, what challenges are you facing right now? Is it your time management? Is it getting buyers off the fence? Is it organization? Is it systems? Is it kids are going back to school last week, this week, next week? Does anybody have any challenges that they want to throw on the table and talk about today? Because your challenge might be something that somebody is already conquering on the call today. So let's go. Erica, I appreciate you throwing up your hand early. I appreciate that. Thanks for having the confidence. Let's go.
Good morning. My biggest challenge is kids going back to school. That means early mornings for me, getting the kid up and being back in the school schedule. That's my biggest thing.
All right, so is the challenge kind of fitting into this new norm again now that the kids are going back to school and like having a limited amount of time?
Exactly. Not limited amount of time, just getting my day started early. Summertime, that means going to sleep late and waking up a little later than 8 p.m. So I'm ready to get back in schedule, and it's going to fit better with my work schedule. It's going to give me more time in the office. It's going to give me more time to just start my day early and be in that zone that I need to be in. So I'm ready for that.
I love it. I love it. So do you feel that you're ready for the challenge? You have an answer for the challenge, or you're leaning to the group for some advice on the challenge?
Need some pushing. I would love to hear everybody else's challenge if they can relate, but I'm ready to take this challenge on, and it would be nice to hear some words of encouragement.
All right, cool. So being a father, I'll go last because we have some really great stuff in the chat. I'm going to go to Brandy because Brandy has 5 kids, right? You have 1. She has 5. So I think this is somebody that can provide us some advice and some guidance on here. So Brandy, how are you doing it? Because half of the kids are in school, half are not. I'm sure they're going to different schools. How you organizing this? What are you doing the night before? Let's go. And I'm sure that this is a conversation that a lot of people have on their mind right now. So let's go, Brandy.
All right. So I don't limit myself. I tell myself I could do it all. And preparation. So right now, boys are at home. They're relying on TV right now. So, and I tell myself that's okay. So don't give yourself any judgment on whatever you have to do to make things work. Whatever works for you may not work for somebody else, and that's okay. I get the kids involved. I live by, that's our system. I don't have help. So my kids are involved in everything. The older one helps the younger one with homework. The little one, we did bedtime last night and we all got involved. I give them jobs. I make them feel like they are CEO of their life. Little do they know that I'm really the CEO, but it's just, don't be scared to have your kids do stuff and help. And don't be scared to put it all on your plate and get it done. And at the end of the day, if there's leftovers, you save it for tomorrow.
Oh, I love this. I love this. And Eric, I'm not too sure if you have local help, but during the morning time, most of the time, I don't have help either. And so Michaela, she's 13, so she gets herself ready to go. She is able to walk herself to school, but sometimes baby doesn't want to. But the thing for me is, sorry, I'm getting some background noise. The thing for me that works as an entrepreneur and as a father is preparation. everything starts the night before. Like if I know I have a meeting, but I have to get Silas out of this house at 7:58, I have to get him to his gate, I have to get back here, I can't be rushing around. So I take a lot of time prepping before, the night before, as well as the morning before. Then that means I have to get up a little bit early, make sure that his lunch is packed, make sure that his clothes are picked out. I do his hair. We're regimented. We leave at a certain time. We do not I do not waver on that time in the morning. Everything is so disciplined, not because I want to keep them on schedule, which of course I do as a father, but I have to keep a very, very strict schedule. And so I think this is good for you, Erica. This is good for you to be able to tighten things up, be able to prep and plan the night before, be like, okay, cool. That way it doesn't impede on your current flow that you have that's obviously giving you momentum. So I love it. Go ahead, Blessing. You had a contribution in the text. Let's go. And then I'm going to move over to Zali and then Nicole Penland.
I was just telling her that start with time for yourself. So it's hard to get up, especially with the summer, and we've kind of been all over the place with the time. But if you find like that 30 minutes in the morning before everything starts, just to visualize what you need to, like how you want the day to feel, kind of get yourself ready for, yes, there's going to be a lot going on, but I've got this. And just taking that time before the chaos starts. And that way, at least you start off with a win. That's been the thing that helps with me, because we've shifted. So his school doesn't start until 8:30, but he's on the court every morning at 6 o'clock, which means I need to be up earlier than that to make sure that he's there. It's taking a little bit of pushing to get him into that habit, but it's something that is going to be important, which means that I need to be up and show him by example that, you know, I'm up and ready. So does that mean that I'm up at 5:30 in the morning? It does, but it's a win. And I'm already in the right, you know, mentality to show him that, you know, you can win the day just by choosing to. So.
God, I love this. I appreciate that. And Erica, my wife hates it some days. Like if she has a day off, I'm like, you got to be out of that house at this time. You got to park here. She's like, wait a minute. I was like, there's just a system to it. So it's like everything is to the minute. And the moment my wife is off, she was like, well, I got him out of bed a little bit later. We left the house at 8:08. No, we leave the house at this time. So everything in the morning is super regimented, because how my morning goes with him is how the rest of my day goes. So Erica, good stuff. I love this. Let's go, Zali. Zali, challenge. Go ahead, throw it out on the table. You got a lot of great insight here, like a lot of great minds here. So what is the challenge that you're currently facing right now? Let's go.
Right. Hi, everybody. For me, the biggest challenge right now is just regaining momentum. Personally, I started with a team, and then not even 2 weeks after that, my mom had surgery. So I had to go to Miami to help my mom, and I stayed there for almost 3 weeks. So even though I tried to work and I tried to do things when I was there, I had to be present and I had to be with her through that journey. She was not doing well. And at some point I stopped fighting myself and I was trying to do work, and I'm like, at some point I was like, just stop this. This is not the moment. You need to be present here, and then you'll get back. So now that I'm back, it's just regaining momentum, like going back to where was I? What was I doing when I left? And just putting up systems in place. I think I have a general idea of how things should work in the general sense, but I'm having a hard time of piecing things together. So at this point, I'm sort of like immersing myself in real estate mode. Like I wake up and I'm the queen of podcasts. I listen to every podcast that's available. I listen to all the YouTube stuff that's available. Even if I don't understand what people are talking about, it's still real estate related. And it's just giving me, I don't know, words and stuff that I want to touch bases with someone else. But again, it's a lot of information. I have all the systems that I need now. I just don't know how to put them together. Like, for example, I have a person that reached out to me and is looking for a house to buy for an investment. And I'm like, okay, great. I don't want to lose this. So I've been trying to touch bases with that person, so they don't lose interest. But I am like, if the person says, yes, let's talk, like, what do I say? Like, where do I start? What systems do I use?
Yeah. So first off, if you have an investor, that's why the power of coming to these calls. Call JJ, right? Like, so that's answer number one. If you have an investor, you just don't know how to figure out, is this a great investment for this person? Call someone like JJ. And I'm going to give you my best advice right now. If you're looking at getting that momentum back, you need to do open houses and you need to go to the office. If you're close to Daly City, I would go to the office. I would break bread with Jay. I would break bread with Mark and Patrick, hear how they're making calls, and make sure that you're getting yourself into open houses. That right now is going to be your bottom of the funnel. That's where the biggest opportunity for you to meet clients that are interested in purchasing a home right now. And so don't overthink this. Get yourself to the office, call JJ about your investment property or investment client, and do open houses. Like literally, that's where I would start. Like, don't overthink everything else. And then on top of that, continue to create your social pieces, because those things will live on and live on and live on. So don't overthink it. You have a system, but if I don't have any clients to put into the systems don't fucking matter. So right now, for you is to just get people to talk to. And the best way to do that is through open houses and doing social media posts. That's going to be the best way to get people that are actually bottom of the funnel. Without spending any money, all you're going to have to do is spend a little bit of time. So that's my advice. I would love to hear from anybody else. Let's go. JJ had a contribution. Let's go.
I just wanted to show you my shirt, dude. Cash flow over everything. Literally. If you want to know, call me.
Perfect. Let's go to Rick. Let's go to you.
I just wanted to kind of add to what Zally was asking about. So I moved from San Diego a couple months ago, right? We all know that. So I hosted an open house, I want to say about a month and a half ago. Client that I have is currently in contract. I met from an open house. So what Elias is saying, it's gold.
Yeah, and Zally, listen, it's not anything that we've never heard before, but your consistency on social media, building your awareness and building your brand, and then being able to go out there. Because if you have an open house, that means you have an opportunity to knock on the doors. And after the open house, you have an opportunity to go back to those doors and let them know how many people actually came to the open house. So now what you're doing is you're using this one vessel to market to multiple times. And all you did is you put some nice shoes on so you could walk. You had a great intro. People like you, have a good spirit. You have a cool accent. Those are things that are going to work for you right now. Don't think too big. Think about one thing the right way right now and keep your focus very, very singular right now. Let's go to Cynthia Jackson and then we'll go to Nicole. Sorry, I bounced back and forth. Let's go Cynthia Jackson.
Yeah, so I wanted to say it's the same. That's exactly what I've been doing. Like when you don't know what else to do, just do open houses, because it's a good place to start and to just kind of get your feet wet, and each experience builds on the other. So, just you gain the confidence for one. And then in addition to that, you end up getting leads. So because the systems, you can kind of work them both at the same time. You're creating your systems. This is because that's kind of where I'm stuck too, is in the systems. But the open houses are helping with the systems, if that makes sense. It helps me to say, okay, now I got this lead. Now what's next? And then I'm building my system based on the what's next.
Yeah. And here's the thing, you guys, let's not overcomplicate our system. Our system's easy. I meet somebody, they go into Follow Up Boss, and I tag them in Real Scout. Then I go into Real Scout and I set up their parameters. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, Pinole, here's their price point. That's the system. There's nothing more to it, you guys. When you say, I'm still trying to figure out my system, it's simple. I meet somebody, they go into Follow Up Boss, I tag them Real Scout, and they go into Real Scout and I set up their parameters. That's it. Now, every single time that person that you put into the system looks at a home, opens an email, gives it a thumbs up, give it a thumb down, you are getting that communication. Now, what do you do, Zally? Hey, Tom, I noticed that you just looked at 123 Main Street. I'm setting up my tours for Tuesday and Wednesday. What time do you want to go see this property? That's it. Right? Like, we overcomplicate things. The system is, I got the lead, it goes into Follow Up Boss, I tag them Real Scout, and I go into Real Scout and set up their parameters. Now, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm checking Real Scout to see what their activity is. Wow, this person has looked at this home 9 times. I think I should probably call them. Even they said that their timeline is 6 months down the road. Well, they must not have a life, or they're really, really interested in purchasing a home. And I need to figure that out. Tom, I noticed that you looked at Main Street again. I'm setting up my tours for Monday and Tuesday. What time do you want to go see this house? That's the system. That's the system. And then once you start growing and get more leads, then new systems will evolve. But that is the simplicity of the system. Zali, you raise your hand again. Oh, no, it's the old hand?
No, I just need to lower it. Sorry. Thank you
All
for
right, cool.
everybody. Thank you for the contributions. I really appreciate it. That helps.
All right. And listen, we wanted to, as a collective, is mom doing okay? You're muted.
Oh, yeah, she is. She's doing much better. She's recovering well. It's just, it was a very big thing, but she's doing really well. So thank you for asking. Yeah.
Well, we're here for you if you need anything. Let's go to Nicole Penland. Nicole Penland, what was your contribution? Was it a challenge or was it insight on what someone else said?
I got a little bit of both. So I don't know how old your baby is, Erica. My contribution to that would be, don't let the peaks and valleys get too much. Just kind of keep it here as much as you can. Like, don't make it a big drastic difference between summer schedule and school year schedule. For example, my boys during the summer, we do Boys and Girls Club. It's 8 to 4, so you're still getting your butt up. And I might not be as hard about bedtime and stuff, but it's also teaching them through the summer, yo, you don't want to get up. That's because you stayed up late last night. So like this week, they're mad at me, but there's no internet this week. You're getting off that tablet. You're not on that phone. You're not staying up all night. I'm not patrolling my house to make sure you went to bed, because come Monday, you're going to school and you're getting your butt up and I don't want to hear it. Also, I keep them busy with other activities like sports, like soccer's getting ready to start. A couple months, basketball will be starting, throwing those things in. And then that way it's easier to get them to go to bed when it's time to go to bed, because you got somebody running them for an hour or so. I'm watching practice, but I'm also like kind of texting and making calls when I can, and kind of using that as a off time. Same thing with Kumon. They go to Kumon twice a week. So while they're inside, I'm in the car working. I've had to learn how to work remotely, like seriously, or have keep a laptop in my trunk or work off my phone while they're inside doing that. And that way it stays kind of steady year round. And it's not such a big, like, hitting a wall when school starts. But I had put in the chat a while ago, I'm just trying to get an idea of what people are doing for closing gifts. I did see someone made a comment. Who is that? Christina, I think. But I'm just trying to get an idea. I'm not the bring a bottle and balloons and kind of stuff agent. I gift a 1-year home warranty to all of my buyers. I've been doing that since my first transaction. It is a hefty gift, but I feel like it's more impactful than all that, because things will fall apart throughout the first year of them being in the home. But I'm just curious to know what other people are doing.
Yeah, and if you guys have a cool gift, go ahead and put it in the chat down below, something that you do that, symbolizes this milestone for them. I personally think if it's something that you can do that can give it even more legs, for example, like I'm going to hire for a UberX to come and get you on a Friday night, take you and your husband out to dinner. And all I want you guys to do is just take a picture, tag me on your social media. That's all I want. Like, go and spoil them, do something nice. I mean, I see all kinds of different personalized gifts, so on and so forth. So first off, I would set a budget for yourself and then decide, does that budget go up based on price point? But $500 usually is a really good starting point, depending on the price point, because that's roughly what you're probably paying for your home warranty. But let's hear from Jay. Jay's done this quite a bit. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, so I've gone, my kind of like my gifts are kind of like everywhere. I've gifted from refrigerator to washer and dryer to something that's very minimal budget, which is like moving boxes. Or if you give a lot of what do you call this, clients to your moving companies or like storage companies that you partner with, you can ask them to borrow like a free truck for your clients. Sometimes I send out handyman, or probably like $200, or like a cleaner after. So it could be everything, just to give some idea.
Yeah, I like that. I think personalizing the gift based on who the client is and who their needs are, where they're living. I think that's a really good idea. So good stuff, Jay. Jessica, you had your hand up. Let's go over to you, Jessica, and then we're going to start shifting gears towards the end of this conversation. Let's go, Jessica, my dear.
Hi, how are you? So real quick, I have been hosting open houses. What I'm finding as a challenge, and if the group can give me some scripts or advice, is I connect with people who are interested in buying at that moment, and then I get their information. I mean, for example, yesterday there was someone there. I asked her like, "Oh, what's your accent?" and blah blah blah. She speaks Spanish, so we started speaking, and she felt very comfortable. And then I was like, "Oh, you wrote down you have a realtor," and she's like, "Oh, no, I don't really. It was just kind of a thing. I didn't want to be bothered." And so anyway, so we got to talking. She's like, "Yeah, let's meet." And then I call her that same day, and like talking, leave her messages. And then today, this morning, I sent her an email, and basically hasn't responded. So like, what are you guys doing to hook them at that moment that is, that you're feeling it?
So let me ask a couple qualified questions, and I really want you guys to chime in on this because I think this is an important conversation. What information did you give her about the housing market that was different than any other open house that she could have gone to yesterday?
Housing market for that particular house?
For that neighborhood, for that house, for that street, for that block, for that subdivision? What information did you give her that was different than anybody else could have given her at any open house in that area?
I don't know. She was in a rush, really. She was like in a rush, but I just kind of blurted out that, the market is hot. Like, you want to get in right now, avoid the competition, blah, blah, blah. And then we were talking about other houses that were available. I had some comps available for her. And we were just talking the difference about those. And she was telling me more, kind of like emphasizing on what she wanted and what she was looking for. So, I mean, that was pretty much our conversation. Within literally like 2 minutes, they were like, they wanted to get out of the door.
And how much of that 2 minutes was you building rapport based on, same dialect and accent and stuff like that? How much of that 2 minutes was spent on personal rapport?
It was more like, because I did tell her like, oh, I work for this #1 team and we have access. She got interested the minute I said that. She turned around and she's like, wait a minute, what? And I told her, listen, we can provide, there's off-market properties that we have access to and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, I'm interested. So, but what I'm saying is like, I fed her that information, and I don't know, you can tell me, you're the expert.
Yeah, so a couple of things. I want to go to JJ, I want to go to Jess, and I think both of them will have contributions. I think that we've said this before, but we have to be very careful. What I mean by that is there's two types of rapport that we're dealing with here. We have professional rapport that they look at you as an expert. That's why I asked, what did they from you about the market in that short amount of time that separated you as a true expert in that market? So, and the other side of it is personal rapport. Now, the personal rapport is important. We talked about our accent. I'm from Cuba. You're from Cuba. We talked about Star Wars. Oh my God, I love Star Wars. We talked about Disneyland. I go 6 times a year. That's personal rapport. But what you have to make sure is that your professional rapport outweighs the personal rapport from that first instance, right? Because they're going to all these different open houses, and the things that you said, like the market's hot, move while you can. Like, we got to get very specific to where when they meet you, nobody else could have told them the information that you told in the way that you told them, because it's super original. You had some data, some insights, some knowledge. You talked to Joan across the street who's lived there for 36 years, and she gave you all the dirt about the neighborhood and what to expect and when they do the block parties. And I'm going to share some things with you about this neighborhood that you cannot see with the naked eye. So weigh out your personal and your professional rapport. And if your personal rapport is higher than your professional rapport, then you need to reverse that. They need to see you as an expert, as a numbers person that understands this market better than anybody in that subdivision and anybody else that's holding an open house in that area. Let's go to Jess Bling and let's go to JJ.
Oh, I put my hand down because I thought JJ was going to go first and I didn't want to be redundant, but I'll be quick. I would have just asked more of not necessarily what she wanted to buy, but like why it was important to her to purchase. But I think also you said it, Elias, right? Building more of that personal and asking questions. I think a really big thing that a lot of agents do is we instantly go into problem solving and instantly like word vomiting all of the shit about the market. And sometimes we don't ask questions and allow them to answer to build that further rapport. So that's it.
Good stuff. Let's go, JJ.
Jess was pretty much on point. The other thing you really have to do is, I mean, it's tough for when you're doing regular sales and open houses in different areas, but learn what's going on. Was there a off-market sale? Is the property in the area distressed? Those kind of things, because that's what you can do unique than everybody else. Everybody else is going to tell them that the market's hot. Everybody else is going to tell them that the interest rates dropped. But you have to find something. It's easy for me because most of my stuff is investment properties, and most of you guys don't really deal with it on a daily basis. But if you're at an open house and you really want to be interesting for the people so they remember you and you stick out, you really should dive into the neighborhood if in fact that's where you want to get business from, because obviously if they're in that neighborhood, they're trying to buy in it. So find interesting information like, you know, school statistics, whatever it may be, that takes you beyond just the generic information that we know as realtors, because that's what people are going to get attached to, and they're going to understand, oh man, this dude really understands the area, and that's where the professional side comes from. You know, the sales part, if you engage with somebody, you can close it, that's a different story. But if you don't have something that they're going to remember you from the other 5 open houses, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, good contribution. Let's go to Cynthia and to wraps, and Cynthia Jackson, contribution on the conversation.
Yeah,
I think I
just wanted to
froze.
say, yesterday at my open house, I don't know if everybody else can hear me. I know Elias is frozen.
We can hear
Can you
you.
guys hear? Oh, you can't hear. Okay. So I was at an open house yesterday, and it was on Adeline Street, which is extremely busy. And I had got the message from the listing agent that there was somebody who was not attracted to that. That was a huge problem for them. And they didn't even bother to go into the house to see it because the traffic, you know, was just too much for them. So there was a problem with the lock. The owner had to come to check the lock to let me in. And once I got in and the next person came who had the same issue, I had a conversation with the owner and I was able to give some insight. And that led to one of the leads that I received because of that insight that I was able to give them about the, you know, things that had to do with the parking situation in that area. You know, I was told by the owner that there's available spaces normally, that, you know, Sunday was an exception because there was a church event on the corner, you know, just some insight that those customers had that made them actually, you know, that gave them some incentive to want to move forward on purchasing the house. So any little information you can add or get, or, you know, from anybody in the neighborhood. I talked to a couple of customers who told me, a couple of neighbors who told me about what was happening about that exact house. They wanted to come in and take a look. I let them take a peek, you know, just all of those things that could, because they can add value to you making the sale, or at least getting the lead.
I love it. Jessica, did you knock the neighborhood prior to the open house?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. And did you find any good data, any good information about the area?
Yeah, you always get that one neighbor who talks about he's been living there for the past 30 years and so used to have had so many boyfriends and blah, blah, blah.
See that right there? Leverage that. Right. I want to tell you some things about the neighborhood that you cannot see with the naked eye. And I just spoke with Joan across the street and she told me this, that, or the other. Those are things that are going to build your relationship and get you closer to them. So really good stuff, you guys. I'm going to shift gears for a second. Thank you guys all for your contributions. But
real quick, Elias, can I ask you just one quick question? I have someone in my sphere who lives in Eureka looking to purchase a home. I can't represent them, right? I'm too far.
You would partner Oh, my cats are fighting outside. Great, great.
Oh.
Thank you. What I would do is I would refer it to an agent on the team that represents that area and collect a referral fee. If they're a really good friend, then you can partner on it. You'd be on the back end. You wouldn't be on the front end of showing homes and stuff like that. So you can either partner or you can refer it out to an agent on the team.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, cool, you guys. So I want to ask you guys a very, very specific question. And some of you are new, so this won't land, but some of you have been doing this for quite some time. And I want to ask you this. I sat through last week in Inman. I sat through all these sessions about branding and branding experts. And the number one thing that kept on coming up above everything was the ability to have a personal brand that's going to be better than any lead sources that we have. It's our opportunity to build something authentic. It is real. It's who we actually are. But I want to ask you guys a question. What does your brand say about you right now? And what I mean by that is if you were to do an audience survey, and let's say you take all of your friends, your homies, let's just say you take your past clients and you say, hey, I'm just doing a personal audit of my brand. And when you think of my brand, Jay, what comes to mind? And have people share with you what your personal brand is. And then you have to ask yourself, what does my personal brand represent? Does it represent style? Does it represent diversity? Does it represent luxury? Whatever that actually is. Now, when you ask the people in your world, how is my brand representing in your eyes? If those two aren't congruent, then maybe you should make some changes, right? So that's why I loved doing the archetype test last week. First and foremost, I would do a survey. I would do a survey of what people experience your brand to be right now. And I want you guys to ask that tough question. And I'll ask you guys, keep it moving. And the Elias Astuto brand, what in your eyes, and I'll be vulnerable right now, right? In your eyes, what does that represent? If you guys can, throw it in the chat down below. What does that represent? Because I want to make sure that it's congruent with the way that I want my brand to be seen by the world. So Big Dog, thank you. give us some more substance here. But community, so keep it coming, you guys. If you guys were to put my brand and compartmentalize it, support and growth, relentless, consistency, honest accountability. Okay, cool. And if you have more coaching, inspiration, community, and thank you guys for doing this. Take action. I appreciate this. Taking action, unstoppable, coaching. You see, I appreciate that. And there hasn't been anything that you guys posted in the chat below that I wouldn't want or don't believe my brand to be a part of, right? I don't believe that. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to do a brand audit. Ask the people in your world, like, hey, you've worked with me, you know who I am, you've seen my social media. What does my brand say to you? Right? If somebody told Mel that her brand doesn't say community and community builder, then she knows that she might be doing something wrong because that is at the heart of what she wants to do and how she wants to grow in this business. So I want you guys to audit yourself. We're going to be doing a lot of this brand empowerment and this brand building. But first and foremost, you got to get very, very clear with what people are experiencing. And is that in direct alignment with how you want your brand to be seen, viewed, and experienced by the mass consumers? That makes sense, everybody? Like, do an audit of that, right? And if it's saying, oh, well, patient and its integrity and its expertise, wonderful, because that's what I want to represent for my clients. But if those two are off, then that's on you to say, maybe I need to do things a little different. Maybe my messaging is off. Maybe my videos don't say shit about me building a community. Doesn't say anything about my expertise. Maybe I'm leaning way too much into the fun and I haven't really dropped anything educational in the past 3 months. So you guys have to really look at your brand and say, how are people experiencing the brand? And is it in direct alignment with how I want them to experience my brand? Any questions on this? Any thoughts on this? Any dialogue on this before we close out session? I see smiles.
It connects for me because I just finished 10X is better than 2X. And just to 10X is to constantly take stock of what you're doing, how your brand is performing, and what is articulating to whatever your audience is. So that resonated with me, like how you're talking about the types of videos. I have to keep in check that I'm also offering some substance along with the fun shit and get to know me. So that balance helps you to 10x to keep that in mind, to keep the details in mind.
I love it. I love it. Anybody else have a contribution on that subject? I saw smiles from Patrick and Mel, and I saw other smiles. Anybody else have anything that they want to contribute? Let's go, Pat.
Yeah, no, just something to add on what you just said, which is, very true. I think another layer to add on top of that is to be as controversial as possible when you're delivering your social media posts, because that actually does attract a lot more viewers. It's social currency, right? From the book Contagious. It's you get people talking, doesn't matter. That's just something I want to add on top.
That's right. And you guys, I really appreciate your contributions in the chat below, because there was a time where I didn't have a brand. And then when I look back at the the evolution of the brand over the years, it's been really important. So let's go, Blessing. You'll be the last contribution, then we'll close shop.
Yeah, I was going to say that asking for feedback from not only your previous clients, but your friends as to how they see you. Take it with a grain of salt and know that that's what you're projecting. So it's not good or bad, and it may rub you the wrong way to find out. I know I get harsh all the time, but I know it has to do with delivery. So being open to feedback and asking that question, because that's really going to be how your consumer sees you, and the people that interact, that's how they see you. You get to decide what you do with it from there. So just asking the question, it's a great way to grow in any capacity.
Yes, absolutely. Copy and paste what Ashley just put in the chat below. There's some really, really good stuff here. We'll obviously be diving deeper into this. I'm going to have some special guests in the next couple of months that are going to talk about branding and really elevating what that looks like. So first and foremost, do a quick survey with the people that know you, the people that already like you, that are doing business with you, to give you a sense to say, is it in alignment with how I want my brand to be viewed by the world? So you guys, really great session. It was good it's good to be back. Excuse me. I missed you guys. Ready to go full tilt. If you signed up for Intensity, be on the lookout for an email with updates today. We're going to start that on Friday. So I'm excited to go full tilt with you guys. It's going to be intense. It's going to be hard, and it's going to punch you in the gut a few times. But I promise you, when you finish that program, great things are going to come from your business. So I'll see you guys soon. If you need anything, let me know. As always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and go out there and make this a week that counts. Peace.